Hey everyone, I am Jerry James Stone and welcome to another Facebook Live cooking show. I'm very excited because today we're going to make a delicious gluten-free dessert. I'm going to make these white chocolate blondies. In fact, let me just show you these really quick. They're fun, they're tasty, they're really easy to make. I'm going to be using a couple fun Bob's Red Mill products to make these. They're made with a coconut flour and also their gluten baking flour. That's the 1-to-1 measurement. But just look how great they look. Super fun. The white chocolate. So if you like brownies, if you've never had blondies, if you like brownies, if you've never had blondies, those are like the white chocolate version of a brownie. So very similar. So to start off, the first thing I'm going to show you here, let me just move my phone. I'm going to melt some butter to get started. So come on over and take a look. Just throw this in here in the pan. Let's get the temperature up and running on there. Start melting that butter. Okay, so our butter here is pretty much melted. Let's see here, I'm just going to break this up a little bit. Okay, so that's pretty good. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to add in, come and take a look here. I'm going to add in our white chocolate chips. I'm not going to add in all of them, I'm just going to add in most of them. And I'm just going to use the heat. I've turned off the heat now. We're just going to melt this chocolate in the butter. The last thing you want is it to seize up, so you don't want to do this over direct heat. If you need more heat, you can kind of put it back on the burner, but the key here is really just to incorporate the white chocolate into the butter. I'm going to add the butter and white chocolate. So first thing I'm going to mix in is some white sugar. Add in some brown sugar. Maybe. Doesn't want to come out. Brown sugar likes to stick together, right? Add that in. And I'm just going to mix this together before I add in our eggs. The reason for this is I'm using the sugar to kind of temper the hot butter here. Last thing you want to do is add in the eggs and cook them prior to actually baking your final dish. So this will cool it down a little bit. Add in some vanilla extract. The great thing about brownies is you don't have to worry about overworking the batter as much. They're pretty forgiving because you want them dense. Add in 1 egg. Add in the second egg. And just work that into the batter. So the next thing I'm going to add in the coconut flour. Once again, I just want to show you the packaging here. This is the Bob's Red Mill coconut flour. And the reason I'm using a 1-to-1 mix here of both the coconut flour and the gluten-free baking flour is because I want that coconut flavor. It really goes so well with the white chocolate, but I don't want the full cakiness that you get with coconut flour. So I'm adding in the coconut flour. Now I'm going to add in my gluten-free 1-to-1 baking flour. Add that in. Then I have some salt, and then the baking powder. So we have our batter here. I'm going to work in some sprinkles here. So I want to make it kind of colorful. Once again, I'm only going to add in just a little bit of it. Not all of it just yet. Work that into the batter. Okay, so we're just going to transfer this batter to, I have a 9x9 baking dish here. Now, I would say for this recipe, if you have something a little bit smaller, like an 8x8 would be a little bit better. You could even double the recipe. It doubles really easily. But I like to make a little bit of a thinner brownie, or blondie in this case. So, but if you want a denser, thicker one, then you're gonna have to use a smaller pan or at least double up on the recipe. I just have a line with parchment paper. I'm gonna spread this out. It doesn't have to be perfect because, once again, the heat from the oven will do a lot of the work. It does not want to stay still, but that's okay. That's okay. So spread that out there. Try to get as much into the corners as possible. Okay, so here's why I saved some of the white chocolate chips, because first, I'm gonna eat a few. So I'm gonna snack on a few of them myself before I bake the brownies. And then I'm gonna work them into the top. So just a few on top, makes for a nice treat. And then also with the sprinkles, so people really see the color. The sprinkles kind of set a little bit during the baking, so this kind of adds more of the color to the top of the blondie. How festive does that look? That looks pretty good, right? So, real simple. I'm just using the, like I said, 1-to-1 here. I have the gluten-free baking flour by Bob's Red Mill. I'm using the coconut flour. A real easy batter. We just melt some white chocolate into the butter. Once you get to this stage, throw it in the oven, 350 degrees, bake it for about a half hour until you start to see the chocolate melt, it gets golden around the edges, and then once you bake it, you're left with this deliciousness right here. So how great do those look? Those are looking pretty good, huh? I'm just gonna sneak in here and grab one. And thank you for tuning in. I will post all the measurements for the ingredients immediately after this. If you have any questions, feel free to hit me up. I'll respond. You can also hit me up on Twitter at @JerryJamesStone. And thank you for tuning in. And have yourself a blondie.